Hi friends, welcome to episode 17 of Biting Cats Let's Elden Ring, a comfortable playthrough for beginners, focusing on an intelligence-based build. As a reminder, this is not a completionist playthrough. There are lots of guides out there if you are looking for one of those. The focus here is helping players who are new to Elden Ring or new to From Software games, or even people who might be a little intimidated by these games' reputation for difficulty. A way for people like that to get through the game without having to sweat too much and without a lot of grinding or weird gimmicks. So just, getting a good survivable build that can last through the whole game. As a reminder, and I should warn you, my seasonal allergies are acting up. Of course, seasonal allergies in America South is like 8 months out of the year. But I might have to hit the mute button and cough or clear my throat a few times, like right now. Pardon me. Just to get you up to speed, last time we cleared a path all the way to the capital city, the largest, well, one of the largest legacy dungeons in the game. But we didn't go in yet. We're not ready to go in there just now. We basically just killed every boss blocking the way there, and we can go back there at our leisure. Got a couple of other things we want to do first. Take a quick look at the character and our short-term leveling goals. Short-term, we want to get vigor to 40, endurance to 20, and intelligence to 50. Probably at that point, we're going to really hammer on intelligence till we can at least get it to 55, and maybe even 60. Long-term vigor, we want to get as close to 60 as we can. Mind might go up another 5. We'll have to see. Endurance may stick at 20. We'll just see how things are looking there. But the big push is going to be vigor and intelligence. We're in the round table hold. I decided it's time to change my blindfold, which you can change in the mirror in here. I think something dark, like a navy. Yeah. There we go. It's kind of tedious, but we're going to talk to this person a couple times.
Greetings, great champion called by grace.
This is Deathbed Companion Fia,
Circumstances have compelled my stay at the Round Table Hall.
one of the tarnished mentioned in the opening cinematic.
Allow me to hold you, but briefly. Perhaps you might share with me some of your lively vigor and your stout-heartedness. Doing so will grant me the warmth of a champion, and you, I am sure, will bear a Baldakin's blessing. Do you think it vulgar, perhaps? Where I come from, it is a sacred act. My thanks, great champion.
So you let her hold you, and it gives you a vigor debuff, but in return you get a little consumable that you can use to
You are
up your poise very briefly. You can see our health just fell off.
what you felt light up inside you was a Baldakin's blessing. Though it is but a fleeting thing, I am afraid. Come back to me. Should you require another, I will take you in
it doesn't really last, so it's a pretty worthless buff. This is really just kind of a dramatic thing. So we're gonna pop this as soon as we can. Temporarily boost poise. And then we're gonna just do it again.
Would you like me to hold you once more? Now, come closer. You are so very warm.
So now we have a private chat with her.
I was known as a deathbed companion. Where I come from, after I received the warmth and lively vigor from a number of champions, I lay with the remains of an exalted noble. To grant him another chance at life, to do so is the purpose of my being. But before I could bear the noble into new life, I was awakened by the guidance of grace and chased from my birthplace. Pray, be kind. Despite all that, I still wish to be a deathbed companion. So please, let me hold you like this, as often as it takes.
Then she'll ask you for something, provided you've moved far enough along in the game.
My dear, might I ask something of you? Could you please find the owner of this dagger and return it to them? A certain person gave it to me as a gift. It's a very precious thing. It must have a special place in the owner's heart. So I would like for the original owner to have it back, if you wouldn't mind. I'd like you to find the owner of the dagger I gave you and return it to them. It's a very precious thing. It must have a special place in the owner's heart.
Now, if this sounds kind of sketchy, it's because it is. Before we forget, let's pop this useless thing. Let's look at the dagger. It's a key item. She wishes for it to be returned to its rightful owner. It was once a special weapon of gold and silver intertwined, but is now worn down and marred by a black gash. Now, we have seen gold and silver intertwined somewhere. That's right. D.
You've met Garang, I take it. Then owing to our duties shared, we are now comrades in arms. I think you've earned this. The power of the Golden Order to aid the hunt of those who live in death.
He'll sell you stuff.
Well, what have we here? How did you get your hand on that dagger? Well, that hardly matters. I know very well whose dagger it is. Why don't I return it to them for you? Good work bringing this to me.
Well, that seems pretty mild. But now he's gone. And she's gone. And this door's open. And D is dead with these spiky things sticking out of him. He is ball bearing in his weird armor.
Finally, it is returned to its rightful place. The stolen handbrand of the exalted noble. And now, I must bid you goodbye as well. Though I ask you deliver this message to the Round Table Hold. I am Via, deathbed companion, hark Round Table. Disturb not the death of Godwyn, the exalted. We, who humbly live in death, live in waiting. To one day, welcome our Lord. What right does anyone have to object? Our Lord will rise. The Lord of the many and the meek.
Yikes. Godwyn is dead. That's the one who died the death of the soul when Ronnie died the death of the body. So, not sure what she has in mind as far as Godwyn coming back. But maybe we'll understand later. Okay, that's everything I wanted to do here right now. Let's talk a little bit more about staves. Now, damage of a staff is determined by its sorcery scaling. Sorcery scaling is a function of the scaling on the weapon and the intelligence or what have you stat of the caster. So right now we have a 223 scaling on the meteorite staff. Now if we upgrade the glintstone staff far enough, we will surpass that, or the Academy glintstone staff. We have to get it to around let's see, we have to get it to like plus 15, and then it'll start to be comparable. Now mind you, as our intelligence goes up, that difference will increase because the scaling at that point is better than it is on the meteorite staff. And we could do that right now. Now doing that wouldn't really push us over the line. If we really wanted to do more damage, we'd have to start dipping into these 6s and maybe even get into our 7s to really feel a difference. Now of course by the time we get there, my argument has always been that we'll be able to use the Carrion Regal Scepter, which doesn't scale as well as this does until you're around 70 intelligence. The thing is, do we really want to upgrade the Carrion Scepter and then upgrade this? You might want to. I'm about to show you how to get more 6s, and if you want to do that to tide you over, you can. It's your game, it's your playthrough. Your magic will do more damage. I don't think it'll do enough of a difference for it to be worth it in terms of resources. I would rather upgrade the shield. I'd rather upgrade that spear we haven't looked at, or even our claymore, maybe some other weapons. I would just rather save the stones personally. But you should know that you could be doing more magic damage now if you're willing to make that investment. But enough of that. Let's go ahead and see where these stones are. We talked about them So you probably won't be surprised that we're going to go fight that falling star beast just outside the city, which I told y'all we would maybe go fight later. This is a good experience, but it's also really good upgrade stones. So, you know, if you're interested in upgrading the staff, this might be for you. We may regret it, but I'm thinking I'm going to go ahead and chop my way there. You've got to watch these diggers because they will do some kind of gravity mojo. There's some gravity fans in some of these, which can be a fun consumable. Jump attacks can be good for these guys, you know. Just go right there in the pit with them. All right. And yes, we could just ride the horse straight up here. And that's probably what we'll do next time. Let's go ahead and get our friend. Now, as always, we want to trade aggro with our buddy. Remember to heal. And that's it. Now look at all this stuff we're gonna get. Five somber fives, or one somber five, 5 6s, some fans and some chunks. So we now have 9 6s. I mean, 3 more, and you're dipping into your 7s. In terms of scaling, at that point, you definitely will be doing more damage with the Academy staff. Only you can decide if it's worth it. You know, my call is hold off. But do whatever seems right for you. Now that we've done all of these things, I want to go back. Well, let's see. I do want to activate a merchant. Um, there's also a Rune 9 we can pick up fairly quickly. Is coming over here worth it? I don't know. These enemies aren't worth a ton of experience. But that one's got a, probably a 9. Yeah, Rune 9. So that's probably worth it, you know, if you're into that kind of thing. And a Rune 10. So put those together, that's probably worth your time. You got some choices to make in this next thing. There's a bunch of skeletons, and if you want to take your time and kill them all, you know, that's valid. My take is that it's not really worth it, and the loot scattered around this graveyard isn't really worth it. So I'm just running straight to that house over there. You see it? Along the way, some stuff's going to want to fight. But as long as we activate the grace, it doesn't matter. Wow, would you look at that? Pretty exciting, huh? Nice, I didn't even aggro the vendor. Main thing you get here is rune arcs, in my opinion. I mean, stuff like the noble robe, that's all fun to wear late game, I think. Maybe you can always come back here. But that's really it. For now, I think it's time to ride to Volcano Manor. And for that, we come here. This is not a dungeon, but it's kind of like a dungeon. It's very, your approach has to be linear. Some reminders. Do not get caught in these geysers. You may think you're in a hurry, but it's not worth it. You know, slow down. If you don't know where the stuff is, slow down and take your time. There's a site of grace at the end of this, so it's not like you're gonna have to do this again and again. You know, just slow down and get it right. Alright. Now this area is pretty stupid, honestly. There's a lot of stuff you probably won't want to fight. There's kind of the killer head car, fire car things that, yes, can be killed. Absolutely. Are they worth the trouble? No. Not in the least. Oh, here's something I wanted to do. So we're finally going to change our flask. We're going to say goodbye to the stamina boost. And we're going to say hello to the rune loss. So now when we do this before something dangerous, we don't have to worry about losing our runes. There's the killer car. I think they have a set like patrol area and won't necessarily follow you everywhere. Stone sword key. Yeah, it's still down there. The castle is kind of a waste of time. Like, we really don't have to go in there. But we will. The idea is that these factions are warring. Look out for that fire stuff. We already have some fire monk armor. This is kind of a bummer. This guy, because of his reaction, we can get at least 2 charged bow shots off on him, and then we'll need to switch to the glintstone. And he's gonna come charging after us. Anyway, he's really bad news, but because of the way that encounter is set up, it's not super dangerous for us. We're just going to come in here. That hammer isn't ever going to be useful to us, but you know, we've got a collection going. There's a cookbook. There's an open chest, but we know where the contents of that chest went. This guy took that charm and then died. He's from Volcano Manor, where we're going. You got a choice here. You can warp back to the site of grace, or you can just come back. Now there's other stuff to do around here. I don't consider it worthwhile, but you know, depending on where you're at in your journey, your confidence level, the runes you're carrying, you know, all kinds of factors, you may want to goof off here and look around. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, do what you want to do. However, we are just going to keep on keeping on. Um, there's a magma worm up here, and there's also a stake. So, I mean, you're not really risking much if you want to fight them. And since we have our newfound let's drink our flask. See, we didn't do a lot of damage there. Alright. See if we can get this. Yep. So that's good. And we got him. Again, that is so not necessary. And just remember you have that flask. Like, I'm not sure how smart it would be if you didn't have the Twiggy flask. And that really changed the dynamic of a lot of fights. The redder magma will burn you. You can kind of be on the edge of it. There's a bunch of demi-humans over there. We all know they're not worth any experience. They may want to follow you over here. Just keep your eyes peeled. So that's not great, is it? A 4 and 2 2s. There we go. That's a 6 at least. All right. Next lesson. There's a big bear up there that'll smash that statue if you want. I'm not doing it. But if you're trying to max out the academy staff, you may be more willing to take those risks than I am. Another possibility is you can just there's a site of grace right back here, so you can come back here and level up. Alright, endurance. Let's see if we can put another piece of equipment on. And put on blades. Yeah. So we're slowly working our poise up. We're at 48. Once again, the goal is 51. So we're getting there. This crowd of sheep is also filled with demi-humans that, well, as you can imagine, it's very hard to lock on in a situation like that. So, you know, decide if you want to do that or not. I don't personally want to. Um, Next on the tour, there's a maiden over there that will chase you as far as this fence. And then I think they will stop. There are just a ton of demi-humans. I mean, there's one right there. They're everywhere. You might want to do a mix of things. You might find it's more productive to pick them off with magic instead of running into the crowd. Alright. So now it's about this guy. We're going to try to chain 2 charged at him. Yeah. Oh, wow. He managed to get one off from the grave. Good for him. There's more down here. We didn't even get close to getting them all, probably. There's another one of those starlight shards. There's off in the distance a little boss. I'm taking my time here because it's very messy if the demi-humans start yelling and coming at you all at once. There's yet another crown. If you charge out there, I think several come. So we're going to try the charge shot thing. It might not even work. Good. There's another one. They're just everywhere. Once they get going, some will just kind of turn up out of the woodwork. I'm going to kind of keep moving and rolling so they don't box you in or hit you while you're doing other stuff. Let's get the lay of the land here. There's a glintstone sorcerer. There's one way off in the distance behind the demi-human queen. There's one over here too that we can't really see. And once this fight gets going, they all kind of want to get a piece of you. So I'm gonna heal. I'm gonna pop the magic flash. I shouldn't have done that because I'm gonna start this casting spells actually on this guy right here. That's one. There's the other one. Here we go. Not a lot to that. We get a memory stone. Over here, this seemingly dead person is actually alive. You watch their hand. They'll give you, I guess, the poster child of the intelligence build, the Comet Azure. People show videos of this, and it's like, oh yeah, you can melt a boss that's standing still. And that's true, you can do that, and it's really good at that. They fail to mention, though, that that's like you have the intelligence of 60 to do that, you know? So it's not like, oh yeah, you're a wizard, you're just doing it all. You know, you just as always, be mindful of the videos that are just like, you can melt anything, you can do anything, because a lot of times they're so situational. One goal of this build is to do things that kind of work all the time, you know? You know, you just have a survivable character, and you can, if you go off script, you're not going to die. You know what I mean? I should have rested, but it's fine. We're going to ignore these wolves. We got a couple choices here. One of them is that we could just immediately start scooting on down the road. We don't really want to do that. So what I propose is running past all of this, actually, because there's a site of grace down here, and then we're going to come back here and clear it all out. Wait until morning, as always. Get some runes. There's a 7, that's nice. There's a dog up here that, unfortunately, you know the deal, we're gonna have to kill it. For that, we get a somber 6. We're going to do most of this with the sword. These guys are pretty busy, so for the most part you can just walk right up and kill them. Okay. Now that seems like mission accomplished, but there's more. See that guy up there? And he'd be easy to deal with if it were just him. Problem is that it's not just him. There's also all these other guys throwing lightning. Now this is really tedious. We're probably not going to do heavy attacks. We're probably just going to roll. We got them on frostbite now. Yeah. Once you set up frostbite, they're pretty much cooked. Pardon the word choice there. We don't want to mess around too long because there's a couple of guys up there that are throwing those lightning pots. You can't really stay still for long. I mean, hey, we got a lot of health. You know, we made all these investments in stamina and health so that we could, you know, deal with these situations. So, you know, stay calm. You know, put your shield up if you need to. It's going to be all right. So there that guy goes. He thinks he's being smart. That's okay. We'll get to him maybe in a second. Here's the pulley bow. Pulley bow has, if it doesn't have the greatest range of the quote-unquote normal bows, it's up there. See this guy, he just can't help himself. There we go. You don't have to kill him. I just want to. You know what I mean? Anyway, the pulley bow, if you do invest in a bow, if you do put some points into upgrading a bow, that's probably the right choice, just because of the range. Unless you're arcane and can do something with like the serpent bow, you know, that's a whole different situation. But for us who are really just trying to do something with range attacks and hit things from far off, it's a good choice. We have a particular boss we're going to cheese with a bow later on, and you know, that'd probably be our choice. Rainbow stones lead the way to riches. Now anybody who's played any other From games will recognize this kind of nonsense. And you can see the person sitting there is Patches, and Patches wants us to walk over there and look at that rainbow stone over there. Now what do you think is going to happen if you do that? I mean, in a way it's kind of good, kind of bad. He's going to knock you down, way down, there, kind of in the middle of some shit, with a bad fight. The truth is, we could survive that fight if we wanted to, but it's not the order we want to do things in, so it doesn't work for us. There's going to be a grafted scion here, that boss from the very beginning. And the worst thing about it is this uneven terrain, which can really interfere with our ranged stuff. But don't despair. If it seems like you're getting too caught up on the environment, just you know, take the target lock off. Like that, you know. Don't let it box you in, you know, just run away. And that's it for him. It's worth a paltry 2,000 experience, even with the Scarabon. So, kind of a waste of time. But lots of people, I don't see any now, but it's very common to see like pools of blood where people try to get on that ladder and it didn't work. There's somebody wanted to fight it on a horse. Just take your time, slow down. Most of the deaths you see are going to be people who are running, right? I mean, there is a time to run in these games, but it's less common than you think. There's some tricks with these cuckoo guys. They have fire, so it's really bad to get them to kind of dive bomb you. So look up. They're easy to shut down if you know what you're looking for. There's another one up here. And I really shouldn't bother coming over here. There he is. Too far away? Wow, that was boring. Anyway, the reward here isn't great. I just don't really like leaving that thing sitting up there. I'm worried it might make some mischief somewhere else. So we'll just get our Trina's Lily. Keep on rolling. We have some choices here. We can go up this ladder or go up that ladder. The ladder over there goes to a vendor. It's not a great vendor, but it's a vendor. Be aware of these clowns. Usually just a side strafe will, at minimum, just get one hit on you, nothing too serious. There's gonna be a chance for our big group. Oh, survived it. Some sacramental buds. Those are exceedingly rare, as a reminder, if you want to make cures for rot. We will need those again. Now, how many we'll need, it's hard to say, but we're not completely out of the woods with rot. I usually go this way, because I like having the vendor on the map. The reality is we'll probably never come this way again. There's some items you can pick up, as well as some of those cuckoos are over here and ready to ambush you. So this is like the less dangerous route, I guess. Anyway, I'm gonna pop a health flask.
Yes, right this way. Welcome, you please.
If you want any of this stuff, you should do it now. That would probably mainly be the volcano pot. I'm buying it again just because I don't plan to ever be here again. Up here are a bunch of frenzied enemies. I mean, they're all frenzied, and they all do frenzied flame, and I feel like it's kind of crap. And I would recommend just skipping it altogether. So that's what you're going to see me do. It doesn't mean you have to. It just means I'm going to. Instead, we're going to run down a rock over there on our right, and then we're going to turn left. And if you want to rest at this grace and then go back there and try to clear that place out, I mean, more power to you. We do have that twig now, or twig flask, so you're not really risking anything. But it's not worth it to me. I mean, maybe I'll come back in several levels. There's a falling star beast up here. You can take the ladder up here, but you shouldn't, because you'll make the beast aggro, and if you jump up, you won't. So let's pop our flask. Now we have nothing to lose. I always do these multiple passes. Good. You can see this one's pretty resilient. I'm just gonna keep drinking health flask, because why wouldn't I? It's in kind of an unfortunate location. Having some fun, aren't we? We got him. So there, that wasn't bad. For that we got somber, we got more 6s. You would certainly be able to take your academy staff all the way into the 7s now, if that's what you wanted to do. It's a little scary, but this is how we get down. It's right to the end of this. You know, don't fall off any cliffs, but, you know, keep moving, because those skeletons are everywhere. You can hit that mystery thing and get an ash or something. Down that path is where the map is, the last map for this area. That troll down there is actually frenzied, and so that is a bad fight. It's not that you can't kill him, because you can, but it's pretty rough. I definitely, as far as this playthrough goes, I don't know that that's something I would recommend. Level up again. 8, 8, 8. Good.
Are you precocious? We rarely receive visitors to the Volcano Manor without invitation. Fascinating. And not unlike another guest we had long ago. So, tarnished. Have you ever harbored doubts about the burden of grace and the dogmatic ramblings of the fingers? If you have, why not join the Volcano Manor and fight with us, rise with us, against the Erd Tree?
Sure, why not? I mean, we already are, just not the way she thinks.
The decision is most welcome. Now you belong to the Volcano Manor family. The drawing room lies down the hall. Make yourself comfortable. I am Tanith, the proprietress of this house. An honor to have you.
So kind of like Vare and the Mogwin dynasty, they want us to attack other tarnished.
That unspeakable monstrosity. Praetor Rykard's ambitions, though blasphemous, marked him a worthy sovereign, but they reduced to gluttonous depravity once he gave himself to the serpent. Whatever that thing is, it is no longer Praetor Rykard. Someone must kill him to spare him and his ambitions from further dishonor.
All right. And we will get to that in time. If we do it now, though, we're gonna miss all this Volcano Manor stuff, and some of it's definitely worth doing. There's our friend we met once before.
Hello again, brave tarnished. It is a shame that I did not beckon you here with my own hand, but I am pleased that we meet again. Here at the Volcano Manor, under Lady Tanith's guidance, may you tread the path of valor.
And it's strange she says that, because she gave us an invitation here, so we've messed up the sequence or something. I mean, it doesn't matter because we're here now, but we did get an invitation here. The recusant finger. There's all these different fingers. Alright. The letter. So we're supposed to hunt Old Knight Istvan. And it's on our map. So, fun. Let's go do that right now. You see him? He's right here? Okay. Before we go, we do need to do a separate errand where I just start going around killing the night bosses. Maybe Friday we can start doing that, but for now I still want to wait till morning doing all this stuff. Alright. Now, since this is an invasion, I'm pretty sure we get to keep our runes. So I'm not going to pop our flask. Although that doesn't answer the question of whether we should use the Night Comet or the sword. I'm going to say sword for now. Here we go. All right. Well, that was pretty straightforward. The reason I was so keen to do that is because we're going to get his armor, which is just outrageous. It's really heavy, but has a tremendous amount of poise. Small red effigy, another finger. Lots of fingers. Let's go back. We'll be using that guy's armor to get to our 51 poise that we need. Kind of a piece at a time, unfortunately. I mean, if you look at that puts us on heavy load, but maybe we can yeah, good. So now we're at 50 poise, right? We just need one more point. That's not bad.
Did you read the letter left for you? That is the time. You will be conquered if you are loath, but you must leave this house so that we have no man. You've completed your task. I am pleased. Now you are a recusant true, and a full-fledged member of the Volcano Manor. This is your reward, as promised.
Magma shot.
Never forget that the recusant fights to tread the path of the champion. The way is tainted, but for this very reason, it is the true path to valor.
So magma shot isn't great, but it's very unusual in that it's a sorcery that does fire damage. Unfortunately, it requires 10 faith. We have 9. We'll probably eventually bump ourselves up just to use that spell. Riley the Idol in Altus Plateau. Now this guy is kind of a bummer. We're going to be doing things a little differently for him. He does tremendous rot damage with all his weapons, ranged and melee. So if you let him get to you, he sets rot on you, and then you're just basically dead. So we're gonna. Our sword is way too slow for him. He's like a thief type, basically. You can see him right there. So instead, we're going to change our loadout a bit to focus on casting. Getting the most we possibly can from sorcery. As a reminder, there's like a revenant on a horse and a troll nearby, so we're just gonna stay left, avoid all that. And that's where it's gonna happen. This terrain is kind of crappy, right? This also makes it bad for the sword. So believe it or not, we're going to take off this, and we're going to put on Radigan. And what else am I going to do? Was there something else I was going to do? Casting speed. I guess that's probably it. Oh, no, that's not it. The other piece is that we're gonna bump our intelligence up, which means we're gonna have to get rid of some of our nice armor in exchange for the hat. Will this work? I don't actually know. Sometimes. Main thing is keep moving, because he's gonna be shooting those crossbow bolts. The main thing with him is just don't let up. Because if you do, so I had that dagger ready. It's got such a fast attack speed, so it's just going to build up your rot like immediately. But that's that. So now we can get back to normal. It's nice having that high casting speed, wasn't it? I know. Alright, let's go back to the manor once more.
I see you performed another task for us. Here is your usual reward. Please, take it.
Serpent Bone Blade.
Perhaps the time has come to tell you of the true ruler of this manor, Lord Rykard. The Erd Tree blessed the Tarnished with grace, but it was all too meager in the face of the enormity of their task. The Tarnished were forced to scavenge, squabbling for crumbs, like the shard bearers vying for power in the wake of the shattering. Our Lord, indignant, has refused to scurry about, fighting over what miserly scraps they allow us. If the Earth Tree, and indeed the very gods, would debase us so, then we are willing to raise the banner of resistance, even if it means heresy. We at the Volcano Manor, under Lord Rykard, have sworn no rest until it is done. If you follow this heroic path, one day the Lord will see you. The Lord's visits with our champions are always a spectacle. It cannot come a day too soon.
Yeah, I'll bet. So, we can actually go see him anytime we want. However, I must confess, I've never seen this quest all the way through. So this red letter that has, Juno Hoslo, Knight of Blood, in the mountaintops of the giants. I've never fought that enemy. I'm very curious about it, and so I don't want to kill Rykard until we've actually done that, because I'm intrigued. He's way up here. So what we're gonna do next, let's get this guy's dialogue exhausted.
What heaven's name are you doing here? The Volcano Manor is a pit of recusants who spit at grace and hunt our own kind. I hope you understand the weight of my words.
Well, as long as you understand what you're saying. But know that the path you walk is blasphemy and leads only to a miserable death. Before you consider hunting any of your own kind, think on that.
This guy,
This blasphemous path leads only to a pitiful death. Before you consider hunting any of your own kind, think on that.
I just want to check something. That guy should... Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Sorry, lady. This guy should sell us stuff.
So, you blooded your sword in the hunt. Then I shall introduce myself once more. Banal. A recusant, just like you. Recusants have particular battle arts, styled to our methods of slaughter. Why not add some to your repertoire?
I think this is actually the guy from the War Master Shack. Most of these don't have anything to do with us. There's a nice occult, fire. Some of these things are pretty cool. They don't really apply to us. I'm actually going to buy a no skill just in case. I don't know why, it just seems like something I want to do.
You've come to understand now, eh? To take power and make it his own. The recusant must hunt his own kind. To raise the flag of revolt against this sanctified pillaging, we recusants must become the most wretched of predators. All you can do is laugh. until we meet again.
He's like the worst invader, actually. That weapon of his is one of the legendary armaments that you have to get for the platinum. And I don't know, at least for this character, it's a terrible fight. Now, I did fight him with my Faith character, who had a ton of strength and a great shield and a lot of armor, and it wasn't so bad. But I've got to say, with kind of a lightweight magic type build, this is very miserable. For me, it was a very miserable fight. It's really tough. But you know, I did do it eventually. But what's next? Well, we're kind of at an in-between place. What I would like to do actually is go all the way to Riker and then stop, just to clear the path and clear out this whole area. Some things I might consider in the meantime. You know, should I, get my, since I've got plenty of stone, should I get my shield up to 15? Maybe. That'd probably get me 2 or 3 more points of blockage, guard boost on it. That might be worthwhile. But for now, we're going to go through this. There's a secret panel right here. There's a... And if we go down this path, we'll eventually get to the back of Volcano Manor and start making our way to Riker. And I think that's a good thing for us to begin with tomorrow. It's not a very long trip. In fact, I think we'll make it all the way there tomorrow night. And maybe even have some time to go back to the capital. We'll see. We should be able to level up a couple times along the way. I guess one question is, should we continue at that point, or should we go mess with Moog? Decisions. We got to do both. But our course is set for tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, it's Volcano Manor. And once we complete that, we'll fill out the map. We'll fight another little field boss, and who knows what other excitement will arise. But until then, everybody, thanks for joining me on another episode of Let's Elden Ring. I hope I see some of y'all tomorrow. Bye.